Hello, welcome to Maisha Prime News, the bold and authoritative bulletin. Thank you for choosing Maisha TV for this broadcast. We've got a lot prepared for you. But first, let's have a look at our top stories.
Nataka tuendelee kuagiza kutoka nje ama Omondi atengeneze.
This is a scandal in the offing, like the golden bar.
It is done. President William Ruto signs into law Finance Bill 2023. Plus,
we have decided to invite Kenyans to a consultation at the Kamukuji grounds Tuesday the 27th.
Weka sufuria kwa kichwa, piga kelele, mwende nyumbani jioni.
Hakuna mtu ambaye atazuiwa na mtu yeyote.
All set for Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition's People's Engagement to be held at Kamukunji grounds to give way forward for the Finance Bill 2023.
Mara ya pili akachukua kijana mwingine aitwa Dr. Kariuki. Nasema nataka kusema, for example, nataka kuongea
Senator Mazayo.
Yes.
Senator
nasema
Mazayo.
Mfano.
Senator Mundigi.
Mimi nakataa mambo ya kutimulia kwa deputy governor wa Siaya, kwa sababu tunajua kazi ya governor wakati wa siasa. Governor na deputy wake wanatembea kona zote wakifanya siasa.
Showdown in the Senate as Kenya Kwanza and Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition senators clash over the impeachment of Siaya Deputy Governor. My name is Kering Chebet. Welcome on board. President William Samuel Ruto has assented to the Finance Bill 2023. The new act introduces, among others, an 8% increase on value-added tax on petroleum products with exemption of liquefied petroleum gas, and introduces 1.5% housing tax to be paid by employees and matched by the employers. Here is Mary Magdalene Nekesa with the details.
President William Ruto on Monday morning pinned his signature to the finance bill that was approved by the National Assembly last week.
Tumeweka katika ile budget ya kwamba hatutaki tena furniture. Ati kiti kama hii nimekalia. Ati tunaenda kutafuta mpaka China. Na tuko na Wafula hapa, tuko na Omondi hapa, anaweza kuchonga hii kitu, tukamnunulia, akawa na pesa, akajisimamia. Mnataka tuendelee kuagiza kutoka nje ama Omondi atengeneze?
This is a scandal in the offing, like the golden bag.
According to State House official, the head of state signed the bill into law on Monday morning at State House, Nairobi.
Okay, Madam Chairman, well done.
The controversial bill was passed during a stormy season, largely boycotted by the opposition.
And the court will tell us whether that finance bill is legitimate and legal or not. So those who are celebrating, they better withhold their...
Hiyo financial bill singepitisha wakati huu. Hawa maseneta wenye wanapitisha na wanasema mimi najua wanapitisha kwa sababu wanaogopa. Stand with your people. Wewe huko electiwa hapo na mtu, ulielektiwa hapo na watu. Ili utetee shida zao, wewe wa represent matatizo zao, uende mdiscuss huko. Si kudiscuss vile mnaenda kunyonga wananchi.
There were 87 proposed amendments to the bill, some of which were approved on Tuesday as the National Assembly debated them late into the night.
This kind of dictatorship is new. This budget is selfishly tailored to ensure Ruto and his cronies are living large and they eat well, where a majority are suffering.
Among the most important proposals approved was a 16% value-added tax on gasoline, up from 8%. Except for Githunguri MP Gathoni wa Muchomba, at least 184 MPs, mostly from Kenya Kwanza, supported the bill, while 88 MPs, mostly from Azimio, opposed the amendment.
They used their numbers to pass it. They used their numbers against the interest of the ordinary Kenyan, because they are using what they believe is a tyranny of numbers in the National Assembly.
We are listening to the people of Kenya. We have our aspirations as leaders and the things we want to achieve.
The contentious housing levy, which had initially proposed to be at 3%, was also passed after it was amended to 1.5% of gross pay. It has been converted into a tax. The initial proposal called for the levy to be a saving account that Kenyans could access after 7 years.
Your Excellency, mambo ya nyumba, sijui kama ni kuelewa, mimi sikuwa nimeelewa. Lakini nikiangalia kila wakati nikiingia constituency, ile shida ninaletewa na wananchi ni mambo ya school fees, mambo ya hospitali, na mambo hata ya chakula.
Digital creators will be subjected to a 5% tax. This figure was originally proposed to be 15%. Betting and insurance withholding taxes will be charged at 12.5% and 16% respectively. Executive, which comprises ministries, departments and agencies, will receive the bulk of the allocation of 2.16 trillion Kenya shillings. Parliament, which comprises National Assembly and Senate, will receive a total of 40.4 billion Kenya shillings. Judiciary has been allocated the least amount of money at 22.99 billion Kenya shillings. The 47 counties will receive 385.4 billion Kenya shillings as part of the shareable revenue. Other expenditure items will be what is known as the Consolidated Fund Service. Consolidated Fund Service has been allocated a total of 1.836 trillion Kenya shillings, taking the total spending in the financial year 2023-2024 to 4.45 trillion Kenya shillings. The 2023-2024 budget was prepared in an environment of high inflation owing to the several shocks that have lit the country's economy. The biggest shock has been a crippling drought, the worst in 40 years. The drought has depressed harvest and pushed up food prices, with inflation rate remaining outside of the upper bound target of 7% for the last 12 months to June.
We have time to build a new foundation of our economy.
The high cost of living has also been aggravated by a weaker shilling, which is exchanging at a record low of 139.7 shilling against the dollar. Central banks in advanced economies have also increased interest rates, triggering capital flights from frontier and emerging economies such as Kenya.
Hiyo msingi wa madeni lazima tuibadilishe. Badala ya kuwa na msingi wa uchumi wa madeni, tuwe na msingi wa uchumi wetu ambao umesimamia ushuru ambayo sisi tunakusanya kama wa Kenya.
High interest rates have also made it difficult for the country to borrow into the foreign capital markets to finance its budget.
We have built our economy on the basis of debt. That is why we are paying 1.4 trillion shillings every year to debt. We have to change that foundation so that we, instead of building our economy on the basis of debt, we want to build our economy on the basis of our own revenues.
For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, my name is Mary Magdalene Nekesa.
Thank you so much, Mary Magdalene Nekesa. And President William Ruto swore to be tough on people he said are trying to test him, an apparent jab at opposition leaders who have been vocal against the Finance Bill 2023. The president, fresh off assenting to the bill on Monday, addressed stakeholders in the border sector at the Kenyatta International Convention Center in Nairobi, where he praised the housing fund comprised in the new law as a road to social equality. His comments came just a day before the planned public rally called by the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition at Nairobi's Kamukunji grounds over the high cost of living. Bushebe Jr. prepared that story.
Even after the opposers of Ruto's budget woke up to the news that President Ruto had signed the bill to law on Monday, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's Azimio coalition has vowed to scale up opposition to the implementation of the budget. In a move seen to demonstrate rejection of the bill, Azimio Brigade listed their next course of action.
We are fighting for your people. We are fighting for these hustlers who gave you power.
In a statement read by NA Kenya Party leader Martha Karua last week, the coalition informed Kenyans that it will hold a public engagement forum on Tuesday, June 27th at Kamukunji grounds in Nairobi to discuss the Finance Bill 2023 and the national budget.
We have decided to invite Kenyans to a consultation at the Kamukunji grounds Tuesday, the 27th.
Weka sufuria kwa kichwa, piga kelele, muende nyumbani jioni.
Hakuna mtu ambaye atazuiwa na mtu yeyote.
The team of Azimio la Umoja Politburo, including Raila, Kalonzo Musyoka and other financial experts, had promised to attend the forum to debunk the tax hikes.
Brother, while you are away,
Azimio la Umoja stated that members of the public will be granted the opportunity to ask questions and share their views on the controversial finance bill.
We say pole to the millions of Kenyans who are struggling to come to terms with this harsh reality. We know many of you think this is a nightmare that will probably fizzle out. Unfortunately, it is here with us and here to stay unless we act now.
According to the coalition, the public forum is part of Azimio la Umoja's efforts to engage with the public on key economic issues as it ponders whether to return to nationwide protests.
That's where we find ourselves.
Speaking about the Raila-led Kamukunji rally slated for Tuesday, Herman Manyora, a political pundit, said that neither President Ruto nor Raila Odinga should focus on who is right or wrong.
I would not want to say Azimio is bad or Raila Odinga is bad. I won't blame them. At a time like this, like the president said during that Sunday, when he extended a hand to Raila Odinga, a time like this, quoting Winston Churchill, it never pays to find out who is wrong and who is right. It bears no fruits to look for blame. But I want to say one thing. God may soon get tired with us, tired of us, and say, mtoto akililia wembe mpe.
However, he said the two should find a better way of listening to each other.
Stupidity is a gift from God. Do not misuse it. We seem to be misusing our stupidity.
Manyora added that mass action in Kenya is barely without chaos and destruction of property.
Every time you have mass action, the country gets very close to destruction. You will be satisfied that we've gone into a place as people where the issue we have can be sorted out on a table. And therefore, it is sad that the people who should know better, that the people who should sit down, as Orengo puts it, on a table of brotherhood, would want to push each other until we lose our country. It's unfortunate.
He also urged the two leaders to find an amicable solution devoid of protests.
We have made it a habit, a bad habit in this country, that people never listen to reason until they are pushed. Employers cannot handle their workers like human beings until they go on strike. Universities cannot listen to simple complaints from students until the students riot. We made it a culture of this country that government cannot listen even to the most obvious things until people spill over into the streets. So I would not want to blame Azimio Raila, but I must also point out to them How sure are you, Raila Odinga, that you may be in control of the masses?
After members of parliament voted to endorse Finance Bill 2023, the roadblocks by the opposition to stop the bill seem to head to legal redress or staging mass protests.
This illegitimate regime can ignore the people, their feelings, their fears, their circumstances, their hopes and aspirations, and force its agenda on the people.
Azimio La Umoja claimed that the Finance Bill 2023, which is now a law, will lead to hyperinflation as food prices will skyrocket, hence the need to oppose it vehemently.
Demonstration is not a monopoly of someone. They can demonstrate against it. We're going to demonstrate for. Kwani they own the streets. We can also go to those streets. Tutakutana huko.
Watarudi kwa barabara siku ya Jumanne, tumewakaribisha. Kuna shida, si barabara ziko tu, kuna bahali zimeenda. Kuna bahali zimeenda. Bora tu wasiharibu mali ya Mkenya. Hiyo tu. Hiyo no go zone.
Tuache tabia ya kufikiria kuna Samson kwa sababu hatukupata, tuvunje nyumba, tuharibu uchumi, tufanye maandamano kwa sababu hatukupata. Hiyo ni hadithi ya Samson.
The bill was passed even as the opposition and the ruling party engaged in a heated debate over the proposals it contains. The bill, which is now the law, had 87 proposed amendments, some of which were approved on Tuesday as the National Assembly debated them deep into the night.
Kenya ni yetu sote. Tupange vizuri. Tukosoe kwa mpango, sio kwa kuharibu. Tufanye hiyo because we want to run a better country.
Mkuja mpige kelele, kifika jioni, mwende pumzike, mjiangalie kwa TV jioni, kwa sababu hiyo watu ya TV hiyo wataonesha. Hiyo wataweka mpaka live, your excellency. Ile ya kuharibu mali ya watu, hiyo wanaweka, wanafuatilia, wametoka hapa, wamefika hapo, sasa imeharibu atia gas, ndio hiyo wanaweka. Lakini mambo ya maendeleo wanasema.
Key among the proposals passed was the 16% value added tax on fuel, up from 8%. At least 184 members of parliament, largely from the Kenya Kwanza coalition, supported the bill, save for Githunguri member of parliament Gathoni Wamuchomba, whereas 88 members of parliament, largely from Azimio La Umoja One Kenya coalition, opposed the amendment. For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Bushabi Jr.
That song Uninyunyizie Maji, and the way the police officers was spraying the pressured water on the Azimio supporters. And moving on, Kenya Kwanza and Azimio senators clashed over a Senate committee report recommending the ouster of Siaya Deputy Governor William Oduol on Monday. Senate ad hoc committee had upheld the impeachment of Siaya Senate Deputy Governor William Oduol. In the report tabled in the House on Monday, the 11-member panel found Oduol guilty of the 2 charges. He faced the charges of gross violation of the Constitution and other laws and gross misconduct and abuse of office.
2, abuse of office and gross misconduct in respect of allegation 4, misleading the public by giving false information, have been substantiated.
Kenya Kwanza and Azimio senators on Monday clashed over a Senate committee report recommending the ouster of Siaya Deputy Governor William Oduol.
The Deputy Governor for Siaya, Mr. William Oduol, is being vilified for personifying the politics of for actually personifying people who want independence from the politics that Nyanza has been for the last 7 years. Mr. Speaker, it cannot be that a professional, a member of the ISPAC, a man who has worked with Safaricom, a man who has worked with Microsoft for more than 30 years, that now that his deputy governor is all of a sudden corrupt, Mr. William Odol is not being in public service for the first time. He's neither being in leadership for the first time. So what we're actually seeing is an attempt to fix him. And governors should actually be aware that when you are elected with your deputy, you are actually like Siamese twins.
The Kenya Kwanza team rejected the report, with opposition lawmakers endorsing it.
Mimi nakataana na kusema kama gavana angetimiliwa, kama deputy angefaa aende, deputy gavana ndiye angekuwa kwanza kujibu maswali, kwa sababu tunajua gavana ndiye ako na kidole ya kufanya kazi yote ya kuvuta watu, mambo ya kuandikana. Gavana kushukuru kama ni mtu ana maana. Kwa hivyo mimi nakataana hiyo maneno. Ya pili, tunajua ingekuwa ni mambo ya kurusha mawe, watu wengine wangekuwa kwa hii nyumba, na sasa wako hapa wakisema kutumuliwa kwa gavana, kwa deputy governor. Kwa hivyo nakataa, nataka kusema deputy governor wa Siaya anafaa arudishwe kazini.
The panel, chaired by Elgeyo Marakwet Senator William Kisang, found Odol guilty of gross violation of the Constitution, abuse of office and gross misconduct.
Now therefore, pursuant to section 33(6)(b) of the County Government Act and Standing Order 80 subsection 4B, the Senate, after according the Honorable William Odwal, the Deputy Governor of Siaya, an opportunity to be had, resolves to impeach Honorable William Odwal, the Deputy Governor of Siaya County Government, on the following charges. 1. Charge 1 is gross violation of the Constitution and other laws in respect of interference with the procurement process through acts of bid rigging. Second, charge 2, abuse of office and gross misconduct in respect of allegation 4, misleading the public by giving false information.
Deputy Minority Leader Enoch Wambua, who was the first to take the floor, implored the House to improve the committee's report.
Honorable Senators, you know the standing orders have not been suspended. This session is live and the standing orders remain in force.
Kitui senators say the committee reports must have value, and thus the House should adopt the report by the panel.
But Mr. Speaker, if it is true that page 11 is telling us what transpired during the voting, and when the actual outcome of the voting was not unanimous, then what else in this report is not accurate? Mr. Speaker, therefore, the chair should make a decision on whether we have an accurate report of a committee that can allow us to make a decision on a very important constitutional issue of helping the governor of Siaya to run his office and making sure that the deputy governor of Siaya enjoys his constitutional right. We cannot make that decision on reports that could be either opaque, inaccurate, or deliberately written so as to confuse debate, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna thanked the committee for giving a devolution a chance to succeed in Siaya County.
There is an admission by the deputy governor himself, and those of you who know the law, they know the weight of an admission of an accused person is heavy. If the governor himself, at page 40 and 41 of the report, has admitted before the committee that he attempted to interfere with procurement processes, then really we shouldn't be debating it any further. We should take him at his own word. He has accepted to a crime, and he should face the consequences of his decision, Mr. Speaker. This committee are the ones who interacted with the evidence. They are the ones who interacted with the witnesses. They were able to tell certain things that we can't tell from this report, Mr. Speaker. For instance, you know, my senior here is a retired judge. You know that the court that takes the evidence, Mr. So you cannot just tell us, because you people in your coalition, you are used to giving false promises to Kenyans, you tell us that you can just retract. That is not the law.
Nyamira Senator Okongo Omageni, who sat in the impeachment committee, said the MCAs proved beyond any reasonable doubt that Odol interfered with procurement.
Mr. Speaker, I vote no.
On the other hand, Kiambu Senator Karungu Thangwa faulted the committee for attempting to help the MCAs to settle their political scores with the deputy governor.
When you say you're removing somebody from office because he said in public
that a certain CS was forced to resign. Mr. Speaker, is that a threshold enough to remove somebody from office? How many times have we been lied to, Mr. Speaker, by leaders whom we respect from either side, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, on that issue of political process, I keep on asking, are we going to allow this House to be used to play politics of Siaya, Mr. Speaker? And that's why I oppose that report. This House has been sitting here discussing important motions, important issues, having the CSs coming here to discuss matters of national importance. But the minority move out or always go out of the House. They are now here, Mr. Speaker, just to kick out somebody because somebody said a certain county secretary was forced to resign.
On his part, Nyandarua Senator John Methu said the House need to be cautious on matters of impeachment that inflict long-term consequences on a person.
Now, honorable senators,
moving on, President William Ruto has challenged the Kenya Health Human Resource Advisory Council to resolve issues affecting health professionals in the country. The head of state said that the council, whose mandate is to review policy and establish norms and standards for the health workers, should ensure health professionals are happy and productive. The council will be chaired by Dr. Francis Wafula, a lecturer at Strathmore University, and comprise representatives from the national government, counties, and training institutions. The president spoke on Monday at State House in Nairobi when he inaugurated the council, which he said was the result of extensive consultations between the national and county governments. The advisory council will handle the posting of interns to national and county governments' health facilities, inter-county transfer of health professionals, and transfers from one level of government to the other. The Kenya Health Human Resource Advisory Council will also standardize the welfare and schemes of service for health professionals and manage the rotation of specialist doctors to enhance effective service delivery across the country.
We decided that we were going to bring this advisory council that was in the law but was not inaugurated because of the differences between the national and the county government. I'm very happy that this time round we've managed to hammer it out. I want to thank the county governments for their understanding of this issue, and I have undertaken to the county governments that I am all in supporting county governments in their delivery of health service. And the national government has no intention whatsoever to reverse what the Constitution did make legitimately to transfer health services to county governments. I am a very strong believer. I am on record as saying the counties have done a better job in the delivery of health than was done before. I know other people have a different opinion, but I hold the firm view that the counties have done very well in addressing the challenge of health provision, and I intend to work with the counties so that we can better deliver health services to the people of Kenya. It is the only way we're going to get it done. We have agreed on a couple of issues on how we are going to work with the counties on matters to do with community health promoters. We have worked with counties on how we're going to partner in equipping facilities that are built by counties. We have agreed on how we are going to work together on many other aspects. This is going to be one such collaboration on the management of health workers so that we eliminate unnecessary industrial action. We can create better channels of communication. We can create better avenues of engagement so that we can listen to one another, talk to each other, not at each other, and find solutions, because health is a very important issue to the people of Kenya. I will not expect the council to favor the national government or favor the county government. We want a win-win. We want a fair chance for everybody. I will not expect you to favor the workers as opposed to the government, because we are all in one space, and it is our responsibility and duty to serve the people of Kenya. It is that important to us as a government, because we want less confusion and better delivery of public health services. And we've also agreed, and I'm happy, the counties have also agreed with us, that even as we work in this space, let us also work with the others who are also helping us deliver health services. Let's work with the NGOs, the civil society, donors, religious organizations, so that we can all work together towards serving the people of Kenya. And it is my commitment to you that you have my support. The counties have my support. The national government will work with the counties and will work with your organization. We have made 2 attempts to try and sort out the matter of universal health coverage, and we have been unsuccessful. Part of the reason why we've been unsuccessful is because there has been inadequate coordination between the national government and the counties. And in the process, we didn't create enough synergy, health being a very important function that is devolved, but at a policy level that requires consultation and coordination between the 2 levels of government. I am very happy that this time round we have managed to establish a very strong link and coordination between the 2 levels of government, so that an important subject like health does not suffer. When we went out before the last election, we had consultations across Kenya. We had consultations specifically with health workers. I remember we had a whole day consultation with the health workers of Kenya from different sides. And the very important subject that came out was the disconnect between policy and practice, and what was happening to the whole space about health workers. Many health workers believed that they weren't getting a fair deal because there was a challenge of working, at the same time training, and who pays what, as Governor Waiguru has said. While the national government is paying for the training or the further training of doctors and the other health professionals, their salaries are paid by the counties. We undertook that we were going to be honest brokers. We were going to work with health professionals so that we can manage the issues raised by the counties, which are legitimate, county governments, and the issues which are raised by our health professionals, which are equally legitimate. And that there needs to be a convergence, and there needs to be a mechanism where all these issues competing, all of them important, legitimate, can be harmonized for the better delivery of health services in Kenya.
The second issue is the transfer of health workers from one county to another and from one level of government to another. There is an urgent need for policy and a legal framework to guide this issue. The such framework must address issues of transfer of accrued pension contributions, which sometimes make the practitioners reluctant to move across, SACCO loans, bank loans, and all other related benefits and liabilities. Number 3, a framework for posting of interns and their subsequent employment after internship. The Council ought to urgently develop a policy and a legal framework and advise the national government and county governments on how best to manage the posting of interns to national government and county government health facilities. In addition, it must also advise the two levels of government on how to manage the recruitment of newly qualified health workers upon their completion of the internship. The Council will need to urgently address and provide advice on the issue of uniform norms and standards on schemes of service across all counties and also between the national and county government, which may go a long way in reducing industrial unrest amongst health workers. Sometimes you find that other counties pay a little bit better than others for the same level of service that is provided. So a policy that provides for uniform standards. In the past 10 years of implementation of devolved health, various human resource health issues and challenges have arisen, which require urgent action and on which we hope that the Council, which is highly professional, will be able to address. These include postgraduate training of doctors and other health workers and specialists. Many doctors and other health workers have taken paid study leave to undertake postgraduate and specialist training in the national government training, teaching and referral hospitals where they render services. Your Excellency, the national government pays their tuition fees, but not their monthly salaries. This has left county governments with staff shortages that are affecting service delivery since they do not have additional funds to replace these healthcare workers. As you seek to address this issue, you need to note that county governments recommend that national government should pay both tuition and salaries for these workers to release funds that can enable us to replace these medical practitioners.
The government of Kenya has put in place initiatives to place the Kenya healthcare system on a sustainable financing pathway. We now have Afya Bora Mashinani, which is a primary healthcare model that focuses on prevention as a resource mobilization tool and that ensures the continuous increase of disease burden that has continued to make it unsustainable and unachievable to finance health is now reversed. PCS, we are now championing the rollout of UHC through community health promotion, which is largely financed through domestic resources. This focus will move us all from disease firefighting mode towards prevention of disease and promotion of healthcare. Prime Cabinet Secretary, last week we had a very fruitful engagement with the Council of Governors, and now we are ready to roll out universal health coverage. The government is focused also on strengthening local manufacturing of strategic commodities as a channel for mobilizing resources through efficiency gains that are realized and other key benefits, including enhancing the efficiency by shortening the cycle of procurement, increase the speed at which the finished products get to health facilities.
All right, and now away from matters health, the government has declared Wednesday, June 28th, a public holiday to mark Eid-ul-Adha. Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki made the announcement on Monday in a Gazette notice dated June 26, 2023. Eid-ul-Adha is used to mark the culmination of the annual pilgrimage to Mecca, the holy city for Muslims. The Mecca pilgrimage is a mandatory religious duty for the religion's faithful and must be carried out at least once in one lifetime by all adult Muslims capable physically or financially to undertaking the journey. The essence of Eid al-Adha is to replace the steps of the Prophet Muhammad and the recount of Muslims' devotion to God.
Just proportions.
Maandamano hayatatatua shida. Ukame ulioko hautaondoka kwa sababu ya maandamano au kubadilishwa serikali. Kwa hivyo nasaha yangu nawaambia wananchi wa Kenya, tuangalie jambo ambalo kwamba ni maslaha.
President William Ruto on Monday launched the Border Empowerment Project to train riders. The Empowerment Project's first phase will train 200,000 riders drawn from all the 47 counties. It will transition the plank of the economy into a sustainable and reliable transportation system in the long run. President Ruto said the formalization of border through SACCOs will elevate the sector's profile, offer a platform to upgrade the well-being of operators, and spur access to affordable credit.
Maneno ya kupigiana makelele muache. Mimi mnanielewa? Mimi sitaki unakuja kupigia nani kelele hapa? Sisi tumekuja kila mtu ako na biashara. Yes, tuachane na mambo ya makelele, tuachane na mambo ya mirengo, sijui huyu ni wako na hii, sijui huyu ni wapande hii. Mimi siko hapo. Mimi nataka, I want us to sort out this sector so that people can earn a living, people can run their businesses and enterprises, and we can see how we can take this forward. Kwa mfuko, uendeshe biashara yako. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Jambo la pili, hii electric motorcycle haina plugs, haina ile mahali ya kwenda kubadilisha sijui oil nini ya kuzungusha hapo. So kila mwezi utasave almost 30% ya ile pesa ungeenda kufanyia service. Sasa hakuna service, kazi yako ni kucharge na kuendelea mbele. Na mmesikia jamaa mwingine hapa amesema hata hii haina kelele mingi. So utakuwa na haina pollution. So kazi yote inaweza kuendelea pamoja. Sijui kama tumeelewana. That is our plan. Jambo lingine, kwa sababu nataka niwaeleze vizuri. Jambo lingine, tunafanya mpango saa hizi kama serikali kuhakikisha ya kwamba pale kwa charging station saa hizi ni malipo ya stima ni kati ya shilingi 15 na 20. Saa zingine hata inaenda mpaka 25. Lakini tumesema pale kwa charging station tutapunguza gharama ya stima. Ile gharama itakuwa juu zaidi ni shilingi 8. From 20 shillings tutateremsha bei ya stima pale kwa charging station ya pikipiki zenu mpaka $5, which is about 8 shillings. Kwa sababu tunataka kuhakikisha ya kwamba number 1, watu wengi wana transition kwenda kwa pikipiki. Number 2, inaendeshwa in a manner that is going to make sure that it is cheaper to operate, and so that we can have cheaper transport that is environmentally friendly. Nyinyi mmenielewa? Mumeshikanisha hii maneno? Tuko pamoja? So hiyo ndio mpango ambayo tuko nayo pamoja na nyinyi. Nafikiri mumenielewa vizuri. Kwa sababu siasa kidogo hiyo tumemalizana na siasa. Si siasa tumemaliza? Ama nyinyi bado mko na siasa ya kufanya nini? Si tumemaliza siasa? Wakupata si walipata, wakukosa si watangoja. Ama so tungoje huko mbele.
Members of county assemblies are vowed to stay put until the Salary and Remuneration Commission instates their salaries and benefits. MCAs countrywide are vowed that they will not approve county budgets until their demands are met, threatening to paralyze operations and service delivery in the devolved units. They have also hit at Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua for asking them to be content with the current pay, as the government has no money to review their pay.
Even after the government promised that the National Treasury will this week release money on to counties for the month of April.
The National Treasury has given a commitment with no guarantees.
Nyamira County Assembly became the latest county to postpone its sitting for an indefinite period.
Tumeenda kwa likizo ambayo haijulikani tutarudi lini, sababu ya kwamba ile serikali na wale watu wako kwa serikali wamekataa kusikia mambo yetu. Tulikutana kama MCAs Kenya yote, tukawapa masiku 14 watimize hayo, lakini wamekataa kusikiza.
The move was taken by county legislators in solidarity with all county assemblies in the country who are on strike to push for an increase in salaries and ward welfare fund.
They are overtaxed. When you get the 30% tax out of it, it's 31,000. Why are they lying to us?
Mshahara yetu ilikatwa nusu. MCA ndio mtu wako mashinani. MCA ndio mtu wako na mwananchi. Ukiamuka mwananchi yako kwa mlango. The youths wako kwa mlango na wote wanahitaji kusaidiwa kutoka kwa MCA.
Meanwhile, Kajiado County Assembly has also voted to support the motion to suspend all activities of the County Assembly for a period of 1 month. This action aims to pressure the government to reinstate the money withdrawn from their salaries, saying that what they are currently receiving is completely incompatible with the services they provide.
Because today, if we cannot
sitting, I'm talking of allowance because who is your son here?
Sisi kama MCAs hakuna mtu ambaye anaweza taka kuonyeshana payslip yake kwa sababu tayari imenyongwa na imeisha kabisa. Zingine zinaenda hata na sufuri, kama kuna kitu iko chini ya sufuri ingekuwa chini ya sufuri.
We have adjourned as an assembly in solidarity of all other county assemblies in the nation under the fight of our rights as members of county assemblies kwa minajili ya mishahara, the autonomy of the assembly and also the remuneration better.
Na tungependa pia kuona kwamba pesa za ugatuzi, pesa za madarasa, pesa za barabara zipewe katika wodi ili tuweze kufanya kazi kama waheshimiwa. It is not political, we have no parties, we have nothing. It is just a matter of unity of purpose towards the welfare of an association. Na ujue slogan yetu ni MCAs deserve better.
The motion presented by the majority leader in the National Assembly, John Lemaia Loisa, wants the assembly to suspend its activities until July 6th.
It is very easy for you to point fingers at other people, but whenever you are pointing a finger at someone, you should always remember that there are 4 that are pointing backwards.
Nakuru County Assembly closed business as well as MCAs boycotted sittings over the push for better remuneration.
Kama watu haoni why we are crying because life has become unbearable. Yani sisi tumefanywa maskini kiasi cha kwamba hata kufikiria inakuwa ngumu. Kwa hivyo Salaries and Remuneration Commission, nyinyi msiwe mnakula kuku na sisi mtufanye tukule kama kuku. Hata Mungu hata wasikiza. Kwa Secretary General, leo hii wiki yote bunge zote 47 zitakuwa zinafuga. Tutafuga. Na wanafuga kwa sababu hata mtu hawezi nunua kiatu, watoto wako hawaendi shule, watu ndio hao wamekuja kwako, wanakuambia mheshimiwa tusaidie, huwezi. Sasa sisi tumekuwa maskini. Mtu hata anashindwa sasa kutembea kwa kanisa. Sisi nawaambia ukiona tumekoda hivi, macho imetoka nje, si kusema ati nini, hapana, shida imeingia mpaka kwa masikio inatoka nje. Wajiko elewa ya kwamba, Wajiko elewa Karaja Waboi wa Mariamu, hata ukija kwa Harambee siwezi.
Our clamor is, can we reinstate the salary back to where it was? Because the economy and the inflation has gone high. So let it be very clearly understood by the members of the public and any other person.
People who are closest to Wanjiko, and Wanjiko sit to us every day to solve their problems. Most of them are informal problems, and some of them are formal problems. If you are not able to satisfy your own basic needs,
the 75-member House on Tuesday unanimously passed a motion to adjourn the sitting indefinitely in a bid to air their grievances. The MCAs say they will continue to agitate for an increase of their salaries from the current 86,000 Kenya shillings to the previous 165,000 Kenya shillings, which was slashed on directive from the Salaries and Remuneration Commission.
If you look at the payslip of an MCA, tax is 82,000. Salary is 86,000. So even the small fringe benefits we get, they are overtaxed. When you get the 30% tax out of it, it's 31,000. Why are they lying to us?
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, after chairing the Intergovernmental Budget Economic Council at his current residence, said governors have an obligation to back the Finance Bill 2023 if they expect the national government to disburse monies owed to counties.
Will be disbursed.
The DP said that money owed for the month of April will be disbursed by June 19th. The money owed for the month of May will be disbursed.
We have further agreed that by 19th of June, the money owed the counties for the month of May will be disbursed.
He added that the National Treasury had given a commitment with no guarantees that it will do everything possible to try to raise the money for the month of June. If it is not possible, we'll ask the governors to bear with the situation.
That we shall do whatever is possible to try to raise the money for June before the end of the financial year. But if that is not possible, the counties have been requested to bear with us.
Kakamega Governor Fernandez Barasa, who chairs the Finance Committee in the Council of Governors, had expressed concern over the delayed disbursement of funds to the counties.
We want to appeal to the National Treasury to expedite release of monies owed to counties. Hivi sasa we still owe almost 64.5 billion Kenya shillings. That is 33.3 billion for the month of April and almost 31.45 billion for the month of May. Vile tulikubaliana na waziri ambaye anasimamia mambo ya pesa, you were supposed to release the disbursement for the month of April and May at least by the end of May. So we want to challenge you, please expedite disbursement of that money which is owed to the counties.
There is no single shilling county inadai national government. Last year walivuka na madeni ya counties. This year nimesema sivuki na deni ya mtu yeyote.
For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Maisha Msimbi.
Moving on, a 7-member panel appointed by President William Ruto to conduct the recruitment of the next Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, was sworn in on Monday. Among the members include the Central Organization of Trade Unions Secretary General Francis Atwoli, Kenya National Commission on Human Rights Roslyn Odede, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission CEO Twalib Mbarak, and Solicitor General Shadrach Mose. Other members include Public Service Principal Secretary Mary Kimonye, Richard Onsongo, and Bush Obwacha. The recruitment process follows the exit of former DPP Nordin Haji, who left the position to become the new Director General of the National Intelligence Service. The Office of the Directorate of Public Prosecutions is mandated with undertaking the prosecution of criminal matters and determines that what charges should be preferred in a criminal case, among other duties.
Members of the selection panel, in your search for suitable nominees, the Constitution and the law obligates you to undertake your assignment with dedication, zeal, integrity, and fairness, while observing all applicable legal requirements.
All right, let's take a short commercial break. I'll be right back.
Maisha Prime News.
You deserve to know true and false. Furthermore, you are the most important person, not only to you, but to us.
With the incredible reader Kering Chebet for bold, educative information news bulletin.
I research, explore, authenticate, and prepare adequately and sufficiently.
Get the whole story Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m.
Lavender, a calming scent, crafted from essential oil and inspired by the finest lavender. New Downy Lavender Concentrate lasts on my clothes longer than expensive perfumes and keeps me calm all day, filled with the confidence to command any room. Try it now for only 20 shillings.
Yes, I do. Baby, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
True love stories never have endings.
Oh, baby, nakupenda. Dunia nzima ijue nakupenda. Kupenda sio dhambi. Ni mpango toka kwa Mungu mwenyewe.
And that's why Maisha TV brings you amazing love stories on Yes, I Do.
Pasta, mina sema yes, I do. Na love you. Na kwa shida na yara. Hadi kifo utabaki na mimi.
As we document your love story, join me, Mary Magdalene Nekesa, for this amazing wedding program. Yes, I Do. You and me together forever.
Ingawa si rahisi, wapo wengi wanatungojea chini, lakini palipo Mola, ninasema na
siasa. Mahasla. Chama ya mahasla inaitwa nini?
Uongozi.
Watakuwa kila mwezi anapata shilingi 6,000 kutoka kwa serikali.
Tumeambiwa na Raila na Martha Karua Kalonzo na hao wana serikali yoyote kazi yao ni kupiga kelele. Patakuna mtu nauliza hao mshahara.
Biashara.
The export markets which are stringent, we are unable to send our mangoes.
Lakini sasa kupitia hii mlandi tunanunua our own raw materials na tuna mix our own daily meal.
Kilimo.
Ufugaji wa samaki. Samaki ni viumbe ambao maisha yao hutegemea maji katika kuishi. Ulaji wao mzuri unategemeana na vipindi
yote utayapata ndani ya upevu wa maisha, ukiletwa kwako nami William Juma kila siku ya Ijumaa saa 2 hapa ndani ya runinga ipendayo ya Maisha. Kenya's biggest accountability and politics show.
Bottom up is a perspective of the neo-Marxist economist.
Senator Moses Masika Wetangula will give more trouble to Junet after
Politics, leadership and governance brings you the hottest debates.
Go to school to study things that were created by school dropouts. Does it not beat your logic?
Refreshed and splendid cutting-edge interviews on trending topics.
That a 2 kg flour is more expensive than a sufria for cooking ugali.
Every Thursday at 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Join the Maisha Television's reader Kering Chebet for PLG, where every opinion counts.
Any member of the public who tries to access or violate the integrity of a protected area or a security facility will be dealt with in a very, very firm and final manner. We'll apply the Constitution, we'll apply the law of our country, and we'll apply common sense. That behavior must stop. If you have grievances, let us resolve our grievances, air your grievances. If the OCS cannot listen to you, call the DIG. If the DIG can't listen to you, look for the minister. If the minister doesn't listen to you, look for the deputy president, look for the president. Look, let's find ways of having government attend to our problems.
He is on a mission to give you what's drifting.
Sabina Chege gave Raila Odinga viatu.
Akamwambia kupandia mlima.
Some sneakers akasema hii ni ya kupanda mlima.
Get ready for an exciting top editor show, The Drift.
You're welcome to The Drift
with Maisha Television's Chebet Jr. at 7 p.m. on Monday.
Plan on the best way and day to kneel and ask the most corrupt question in the world to a lady.
Will you marry me?
Don't miss out on Kenya's all-time big current affairs entertaining TV program.
And as usual, I'm not alone. I'm hanging out with this gorgeous lady seated next.
Carrying all top trending stories in Kenya and beyond.
I am a doctor of medicine. I don't know what you are.
The Drift at 7 p.m. on Monday.
We are talking about Finance Bill 2023.
Look at the employers. Do you know how many people are suffering right now to keep their businesses afloat? And here you have, for example, you have 300 employees. You're supposed to pay 3% for every employee. And this is the funny part. That employee can withdraw their money after 7 months. But the employer's money is gone forever. What do you care about small and medium enterprises? What do you care? Does this government care about the employers? Does it care about the entrepreneurs? Does it care about them?
$1 at the moment, $1 is equivalent to 139 shillings.
The Hot Seat Conversations in association with Politics, Leadership, and Governance. 7 and 10 p.m. Thursdays.
Ufanye imara agano. Ufanye imara agano. Bwana. Bwana we. Ufanye imara agano. Ufanye imara agano. Bwana. Ufanya imara agano nami ewe Bwana. Ufanye imara agano. Yesu. Ufanye imara agano.
Divine Inspiration on Maisha TV. Choose it, watch it, and love it.
6 days of tension finally erupts.
The developing scenes in our country,
Habari zinazotufikia hivi sasa ni kwamba maafisa wa polisi bado wanaendelea kufanya msako
viewed by our leaders' own words,
Without fear,
favor,
and dignity of the people of Kenya.
so help me God.
So help me God.
but how did we get here?
Progress together. Let us not be distracted.
How do we repair what we lost?
Mambo ya siasa, siasa, kiwanja ya siasa iko huko.
Mambo ya matusi muache.
Maisha Special Report, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. on Maisha TV.
Welcome back. Moving on, a non-governmental organization, Woman for Woman, on Friday distributed sanitary pads to no fewer than 300 schoolgirls at St. Anthony Matika Secondary School as a way of empowering girl child and keeping them in school, an event that also doubled up as a guiding and counseling session, so students advised on drug abuse and early sex abstinence. The event was graced by the Deputy County Commissioner, Madam Salim Abdallah. Here is more. A non-governmental organization, Women for Women, on Friday distributed sanitary pads to not fewer than 300 schoolgirls of St. Anthony Mateka Secondary School located in Bungoma constituency in Bungoma County as a way of empowering girl child and keeping them in school.
Hii unaweza utaenda kufua, unafua vizuri unaandika juani, yani ikauke vyema, usitumie kama bado ina unyevu. Umesikia? Ikishakauka bado utaitumia. Bado tena utaitumia. Bora ufue vizuri, hygiene yako iwe nzuri.
Nerima Wekesa, the CEO, empathized with the girls, some of whom may not be able to afford the sanitary pads on their own and may have to miss coming to school throughout their menstruation periods because they have no proper way to manage hygiene.
Hivi, sisi tunawapenda sana. Sisi tunawapenda sana, ndiposa tumeanza na Mateka Secondary. Hii foundation Mwenyezi Mungu akitujalia tutakuja kuilaunch, inaitwa Women for Women. Ani angalabu tuanze kuwatia wanadada nguvu. Maana wanadada hao ndo walegevu sana, si ndio? Kitu kidogo tu amekosa sodo, anaenda hivi anadanganywa na chips ya 30 bob na soda ya 30, tayari amepotea. Amekosa socks, tayari amepotea.
She also called on teachers and students at large to be accommodative of girls who are on their periods and not make fun of them.
Kila mwezi wasichana wanaenda period, si ndio? Kwa hivyo ukiona amefikia hiyo stage, usianze kumkejeli, usianze kumwangalia huyu naye amekosa nini? Huyu mbona hata akiwa amejiendea kwenye sketi, kuwa na undugu, kuwa na utu. Chukua fulana yako ama muulize una fulana ama tuma dada mwana dada mwenzake, nenda kaangalia mwenzako, maana huku nyuma si kwema. Achukue sweta. Sasa ukishaambiwa hivyo achukua fulana wamfunika. Usije kumchekelea kona kuwa ni makosa kwenda period, si ndio? Na kama labda ana sodo ambayo sanitary towel uenda kwenye mwalimu wa darasa ama mwalimu wa kike mwenye yupo, mwambie mwalimu tafadhali mwenzetu ako katika hali ambayo anahitaji msaada wetu, tumfanyie vipi? Si ndio? Lakini mwanadada tunataka tukukue watu wa kuzungumza. Kama una sodo usiombe bodaboda. Kama una sodo usiombe ule boyfriend. Kama una sodo usiombe ule mzee mwenye wengine wako na mbabas.
An event that was graced by the Deputy County Commissioner Madam Salim Abdallah saw students advised on the commitment of the national government to fight against illicit drugs, as she urged the youth to abstain from drugs and alcohol abuse, citing the negative socio-economic impact of the vice.
Tumekuja kuongea na nyinyi. Mengi yameongewa na ni yale yale, si ndio? Lakini je, tumejiuliza kwa nini haya maongezi, labda hata mwalimu wenu hapa mliongea vitu vinafanana kama hivi. Kwa nini tunarejelea mambo hayo hayo? Tujiepushe na relationships za mapema, ngono za mapema, madawa ya kulevya. Si mmesikia huu wimbo mmeusikia sana? But kwa nini huwa mnausikia kila wakati? Kwa nini tunachukua jukumu kuwakumbusha kila wakati? Kwa nini? Kwa sababu hatutaki mujiingize kwa hivi vitu. Ndio maana mimi nitaongea, principal ataongea, mwingine atakuja ataongea, aliyetumwa na MP ataongea, kwa sababu tunataka kitu kinapokaririwa ndipo hushika. Usisahau. Kijaribu kusahau unakumbuka. At least unakumbuka mnenaji mmoja. Kama utakumbuka DCC, kama hautakumbuka DCC utakumbuka kulikuwa na Nerima. Kama utakumbuka Nerima, principal. Kama utakumbuka principal, huyo mwingine wa Maisha TV.
Madam Abdallah urged the students to focus on self-development through education and sports, as it is the only opportunity one can use to gain an equal ground in the competitive job market.
So, serikali imefanya mambo mengi sana katika mambo ya elimu. Si tunajua hiyo? A lot of projects. Tulikuwa hapa na mambo ya CBC classroom. I think you have 2 nice classrooms. Maybe 2 or 4 or 3. Mulikuwa phase 1 na phase 2. Hiyo ni serikali kuu ilileta hiyo mradi. Ziko bursaries. Nimesikia ofisi ya MP inapeana bursaries. Iko pesa za Ministry of Education. Zinakuja za infrastructure. Zinajenga madarasa. In short, serikali inajali mambo ya elimu. tunakimbishwa mbio wakati wa January to make sure 100% transition. Watoto wote wamefanya mtihani wa class 8 wameingia form 1. So hiyo inakwambia serikali inaipa elimu kipao mbele. Serikali haitaki wananchi wake wawe wajinga. So acha tusome wakati tunahitajika kusoma. Haya mambo vile Nerima amewambia hayana mwisho. Babu zetu, mama zetu, kila na bado hata sisi hatumalizi, bado inaendelea. Bado inaendelea, hakuna mwisho. So haina haja ati kuharakisha. Acha ikuje kwa wakati mwafaka. Tuko pamoja, tusijichanganye. Mambo ya drugs, same story. Wakati utajiingiza kwa madawa ya kulevya, ndio tumesikia habari nyingi, story nyingi za kuwa mara nyingi wanafunzi wanavuta bangi ndio wabakie wakuwe alert, wawe macho usiku kucha wakisoma, inawapatia hiyo alertness. Lakini umekaa ukajiuliza madhara kwa mwili wako? Kama unatumia kitu kinafukuza usingizi, unadhani ndani ya mwili kinafanya nini hiyo kitu? Kama imekupotezea usingizi, kuna mambo mingi inafanya ndani ya your internal organs. So acha tu, hata mwili inataka kufanya kazi na kupumzika. So soma wakati wa kusoma, na macho usingizi kikubana lala. Huwezi, na ndio maana tuko na mchana na usiku. Kwa nini Mungu wako amua tukue tu na mchana throughout 24 hours ni mchana tu, ama tukue na 24 hours yote ni usiku? Kwa sababu alijua tunahitaji mchana na pia usiku.
Representative from the office of Bungoma Member of Parliament, Madam Stella, reiterated the MP's commitment in ensuring students from Bungoma constituency get affordable education.
Wanafunzi wa Mateka, nyinyi huwa mnafanya hivyo kweli? Na tunaomba msifanye hivyo. Sababu mkianza tu hivyo mtakuwa mmepotea kabisa. Na mbunge wetu anataka nyinyi msome. Analia usiku na mchana, anataka watoto wa Bumula constituency pia waonekane kwa makaseti huko. Pia tukue na graduates hapa ndani. Wale wenye wanataja sijui Dr. nani, sijui nani, pia watache wa huku Wekesa, Sifuna, Wanjala, sijui nani. Si mnataka hivyo? Yeye pia mahali penye amekaa anafurahia ndani ya moyo wake kwamba ako na watoto ambao pia wamesoma na wanafanya kazi zile kubwa. Unajua anasikia uchungu sana wakati amekaa saa hii kwa parliament. Anasikia sijui Chabukorir, sijui Wainaina, sijui nani, lakini kuona wanyonyi.
She also took the opportunity to advise the students on importance of education and know they stand to get if they focus on their education now and abstain from drug abuse and sex.
Sasa wakati analia nyinyi msome, chukweni vitabu na msome ni kama hamtawahi soma. Huu muda ni wenu wa kusoma. Huu muda ikishapita, wengine ndio watakuja kwa hiyo nafasi yenu. Sana wa vijana hawapotezi, si wasichana ndio huwa tunapoteza sana. Mnaona? Sisi maisha yetu ikishaharibika, imeharibika completely. Lakini hawa vijana, hawa wanaendeleanga tu na masomo. Na hakuna siku, hawa vijana hakuna siku watapachika kwamba kuna stamp hapa imebachukwa kwamba alisaa mtoto. Lakini msichana, ukishapata tu pap, area yote imechua fulani yako na mimba. Fulani yako na mimba. Sasa ukipita kwa barabara, watu wako tu hivi juu yako. Watu wako tu hivi juu yako. Hata ukikutuma sokoni wewe hutaki kuenda, umeokopa watakuongelea. Kwa nini uokope na wewe mwenyewe ndiye ulienda kuleta?
The school principal, Madam Domitila Nageri, appreciated the Women for Women organization, Maisha Television Kenya, Office of the Member of Parliament, and all the stakeholders who graced the event, saying the school was humbled by the thoughtful event as it impacted the students with life skill lessons and girls benefited from the pads distribution.
Nataka tuseme asante kwa mheshimiwa kwa kutukubalia. Kituona hapa hivi, kuna mama hapa, wa mama wa nguvu. Walienda shuleni, tulienda shuleni. Tulienda shuleni na tukasoma. Na ndio sababu tuko hapa. Warembo wangu, mjikaze hata nyinyi mfike mbele, si ndio?
For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Rida Kering Chebet. President William Ruto has announced that the government will allocate 1 acre of land to St. John Ambulance Kenya to enable them to respond to emergencies faster. The president said that the government will contribute some money in building a facility for St. John for emergency response, as he called on Kenyans of goodwill to raise funds to help put up the building. He added that he will work together with St. John Patron to make sure that they are on a very sound footing. Ruto was speaking on Monday during the St. John Ambulance annual inspection at State House in Nairobi.
I am pleased to announce that in continuation of this partnership with government and in response to your request, the government of Kenya is going to allocate 1 acre of land so that you can relocate from your current premise. And I urge Kenyans of goodwill, partners of goodwill from both local and international, to work with the St. John's for them to be able to put up a building befitting the sacrifice and contribution that is being made by St. John. As patron, he is the patron, right? I am the chief patron, but who is the patron? Oh, the patron is, the patron is my former boss. Masden Madoka, I used to work under him when I was an assistant minister. I can vouch that he's a very good man. And no wonder St. John's is going places. Thank you very much, Mr.
Excellency, St. John Ambulance plays a critical role in the health of this. As it has been elaborated by the chair of the council, they provide emergency services. And that is what makes a difference between when an accident occurs and when the patient is restored. So I'm indeed happy to report to you that since we came into government, we have been working very closely together. And Your Excellency, we now have a tripartite memorandum of understanding between the St. John Ambulance, the Kenya Medical Training College, and the Ministry of Health, where they are working together to train a number of St. John Ambulance people to be able to carry out their practice as first responders.
Well, and as we move on with our news, over 900 principals from the public secondary schools have converged in Mombasa to discuss various educational issues, including allocation of school funds, housing taxes, and implementation of competency-based curriculum CBC, among other pertinent topics related to the education sector. The principals will share their experiences during the 46th annual conference of Kenya Secondary Schools Heads Association Kesha Conference at Sheikh Zayed Hall. The theme for this year's conference is re-examining our future together, a new era for education in Kenya.
Mombasa kuanzia kesho kujadiliana mambo muhimu katika elimu nchini. Swala la fedha pia litakuwa linazungumziwa. Kwa vile umeniuliza hilo nitajibu. Swala la pesa ni challenge kubwa, kwa sababu tukiangalia mwaka jana financial year ya 2021-2022 mgao wa pesa ambao tulitarajia kupata shilingi 22,244 hatukuweza kupata yote, ilibaki karibu shilingi 4,000. Mwaka huu pia tumepata mgao na pia tulikuwa tunatarajia shilingi 5,000 hii kwota ya mwisho 9,000 kwa kila mwanafunzi, lakini tulipata shilingi 4,200 pale, ambao nabaki sasa karibu shilingi 5,000. Kwa jumla kwa hii miaka miwili ya mgao wa pesa ya serikali tumebakishiwa shilingi 9,000, ambao sasa tunajaribu kuuliza serikali wajaribu kadri ya uwezo wao tuweze kuona ya kwamba shule zimepata pesa hizo ili waweze kuendelea kujimudu katika ile ya kupeana masomo bora na kuhakikisha kuwa miundo misingi katika shule iko timamu, kuwezesha kazi ya mwalimu ile kuweza kumfunza mwanafunzi inaendelea bila matatizo. Tunasema ziongeze kwa sababu pia maisha imepanda. Ukiangalia ile bajeti ambazo shule zimekuwa zikitengeneza, hasa zile shule za mabweni, walikuwa wakitarajia kuwa gunia moja ya kilo 90 ya mahindi itauzwa katika karibu shilingi 3,000. Kwa sasa ukiangalia on average nchini kote ni karibu 7,000. Gunia la maharagwe walikuwa wakikadiria karibu shilingi 6,000. Sasa imefika karibu shilingi 16,000. Sasa ukiangalia hiyo tu, na hizo ndio chakula ambazo zinatumika sana katika zile shule za mabweni, utapata kuwa ile bajeti za shule hawawezi kumudu. Sasa kuna ile wataalamu wenyewe wanasema budget deficit, serikali inayo, pia shule zinayo. Sasa unaanza kujiuliza hiyo budget deficit shule zitaweza kujikimu namna gani? Moja ni kusema kuwa wazazi ambao wana watoto katika shule za mabweni basi waweze kuongeza, na tukija upande mwingine ambao unagharamiwa na serikali, kwa sababu serikali haigharamii malazi, inagharamia upande wa tuition.
Away from that, the Kenya Tea Development Agency Foundation has donated a water tank to Mukulusu Secondary School in Shinyalu to help alleviate water shortage in the institution. The 8,000 liters capacity will increase water storage capacity in the school and will also supply water to the surrounding community.
Now that we are having water supply from the solar panel, I think things would go smooth and we'll have sufficient water.
We need about 5,000 liters per day. So that is a very big amount. That tank was storing a maximum of 10. So it could only store for 2 days. So the rest of the days we are having challenges. So with this, you see the period of storage is going to be extended. So some students come in, they find there's no water, they've got to go to the river and maybe fetch water for their purposes, both at school and even at home. So I'm told this water tank is going to supply water to their homes.
We know that schools need clean water, fresh water, and KTDA Foundation is happy to chip in.
Well, that story takes us to another short commercial break. You're watching Maisha Prime. My name is Kering, Chebet.
Get a holistic picture of the day's news in 60 minutes. Join me, Mesh Msimbi, weekdays for Maisha Special Report.
The signings were happening.
Bringing you the top headlines across the country.
And his deputy, Alan and Boyd.
The most compelling moments feeding in from around the nation. And the stories and people you might not be aware of, but you should be.
Sisi tulimaliza uchaguzi tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8.
Mnatupa tia kasi kufanya kazi gani?
We'll give you a front row seat to what's happening and show you why it matters. Maisha Special Report. We've got the country covered in 60 minutes.
Maisha, stesheni inayokuwa kwa kasi sana kwa hisani ya Kuza Awards. Zaidi ya watu milioni 5 wanaitazama kwa habari za utendeti na burudani bomba. Unaichagua, unaitazama na unaipenda.
It is better to lead from behind and to put others in front, especially when you celebrate victory. When nice things occur, you take the front line when there is danger. Then people will appreciate your leadership. Maisha notes.
Is that workable as opposed to foreign borrowing?
How can he invest, Chebet? You are talking about middle class. You know, you have even gone ahead and forget about those people who voted for you, their husbands. Now you are taking the interest of people who have money at hand, Chebet. The issue of investment, I have not done economy, but I do know you cannot invest without money. Exactly, my friend said, absolutely. So, and I think that one is just one of, and you see, these politicians know them. You know, Chebet, if you cannot achieve what you promised, you should look for any other alternative ways to be able to blindfold people who voted you in so that you don't, blame should not come on you.
The Hot Seat Conversations in association with Politics, Leadership, and Governance. 7 and 10 p.m. Thursdays.
What do you want to be? A business executive, a building and civil engineer, a hospitality, fashion or tourism practitioner, a social worker? Then walk into Navajo Technical and Vocational College and start your journey to the career of your dreams. We offer certificate and diploma courses from recognized examination bodies. Navajo TVC has shown clearly in terms of performance academically, where all students who sat for exams in civil engineering and building technology pass, proving that it is a center of excellence in building and civil engineering. If you want to get your career going, then Navajo TVC is the right place for you. You can apply for diploma or certificate course in building and civil engineering, electrical engineering, music studies, information and communication technology, social work and community development, agriculture and agricultural engineering, hospitality and institutional management, business studies, secretarial studies, among many. Apply now. Navajo Technical and Vocational College, located in Bunyala Central Sublocation, Navajo Sub-County in Kakamega County. At Navajo Technical and Vocational College, we also have a computer laboratory, land survey room, library space and administration offices. For more information, contact us on 0721 589977, 0721 589977, or you can email us to navajotvc@gmail.com or info@navajotvc.ac.ke Kakamega, or visit our website at www.navajotvc.ac.ke. Navajo Technical and Vocational College, Center of Excellence in Building and Civil Engineering.
Welcome back. Glad you're still here. You're watching Maisha Prime. My name is Kering, Chebet, and now let me usher in our education segment.
In the popular Seaport town in Funyula sub-county in Busia County, we found Bujoanga Secondary School.
I am Philip Roma, principal of the school. I came in this school 2 years ago. That is in October 2021, having been transferred from Bungoma County. Now, personally, I want to say that Bungoma Secondary School is a Catholic-sponsored school. The sponsor is within reach of the school, not very far from the school. When I came here, the school was having a little bit of issues, and we tried to overcome those particular issues. Right now, the school has a population of 1,277, having grown from a single stream school from its inception to now a 7-stream mixed secondary school. Now, Bungoma is one of the biggest day schools in Bungoma in Busia County, and it is one of the schools among the day schools that is doing so well in academics.
The school principal admits the school's steady performance in academics since its inception.
Like, for example, there is no year since the inception of the school that the school has missed to have to take students to the university. It has been doing well in Sambia sub-county. In KCC results, it has always come number 3 after the giant schools in Sambia, that is Sigalame Boys and Nangina Girls. So it has always maintained its 3rd position in KCSE. It is only last year when we slightly dropped and had position 4 with a mean of 4.1. But this year we are geared towards reclaiming our position 3, because it will take a bit of time to beat the giants, the likes of Sigalame High School and Nangina Girls High School, putting in mind that these are extra county schools and ours is a sub-county school. Now, in terms of enrollment, that is the boys versus girls, we have a 50-50 chance in enrollment, where we have over 600 boys and over 600 girls. And this actually brings a lot of strain. When we look at our compound, we have a very small compound, around 3 acres, with a population of 1,200 and above, sitting on 3-acre land. It becomes a problem. That's why when you go around, you'll find that most of our buildings are congested. They are just placed together. I want also to say that we have had quite a number of challenges that are facing the school. Number 1 challenge is staffing. According to our CBE, that is curriculum-based establishment, we are supposed to have a total of 55 teachers. Currently, the teaching staff by the TSC is at 19. So we have over 30 teachers who are being paid by the Board of Management.
We sat for our first KCC exam in 2010, and through the years we have been able to increase the number of students in terms of population. This year, 2023, we have registered a total number of 317 candidates. We have a target of 6.017, that is a C grade, a C plane. In the 3 consecutive years, starting with 2020, we had a mean of 5.1523, that is a C minus. From a candidature of 152, we happen to take 24.
With the help of Funyula CDF, Ministry of Education, Parents Association, and Alumni Association, boost of the best modern learning facilities.
My name is John Hakudua Gunda. I'm the Vice Chairperson of the Board of Management of Bungoma Secondary School. I've been involved in this school for quite a long time. I think slightly over 10 years. And for me, it's a part of giving back to the community, because I started out as a student at Bungoma Primary School before I went on to become a journalist until my retirement almost 5 years ago. This school started in 2007 as a mixed day school, mixed day secondary. Having 1,000 students, just over 1,000 students, day scholars. It's an achievement for us. It's something that, you know, these fellows, these young people would maybe not have had openings in other schools. And we are also proud that as Bungoma, right from the beginning, we have done very, very well taking students to university from here. I think in your days, the belief was that you had to be in a well-organized boarding secondary school to be able to pass exams and go to university. But our school has done very, very well. Every year we have students going out there and getting proper qualifications. So for us, former MP, Dr. Toma, who is now the governor, we have had a very, very good relationship with the current MP, who is Dr. Wilberforce Mudenyo, who incidentally, like me, is also an old boy of Bungoma Primary School. So Dr. Oundo Mudenyo, our current MP, and myself, we are getting involved with this school, giving back, because we came from Bungoma and we value, we treasure Bungoma. We are part of Bungoma, and we feel that it's good to give back something. And so these two leaders have given us a lot of inspiration. It all started with Dr. Toma encouraging professionals, Samia professionals in other places to come and help build schools. You'll find that during Dr. Toma's tenure, you'll find that many of our schools, be it Nangina, Sigalame and others, have had professionals working in other places, in Nairobi and other towns, joining the boards of management.
When we're supposed to have 28. I'm also happy to report or to tell you that the area MP, Honorable Mudenyo, is putting up 8 classes for us. It is an 8-story building, which is ongoing in terms of construction, and we are very happy for that particular gesture, because he came here and found students crowded, and he said, no, this is not the way we have to go. If we have to provide quality education to our learners. So he's undertaking that project, which is ongoing. He also came in last year and gave us a bus. And I want to say thank you so much, Mheshimiwa, for that kind of gesture. But again, Mheshimiwa, wherever you are, if you are listening, we are saying that don't get tired. This is your school. We are still growing. We are still in need of quite a number of things. So we shall still come to you and ask for whatever that will feel that we are in a position to assist. So I want to conclude by saying that as a school and as members of the teaching fraternity, we have a very, very wonderful team, a team comprising of young men and women, very energetic and always ready to teach. We have not had any major problems with them, apart from the common ones. But what I want to say is that they have maintained discipline among learners. And from the time I came here, the issue of discipline has actually gone a notch higher. Teachers are working as a team. They're correcting students where necessary. And I'm seeing a situation whereby within the coming years, the Bungoma Secondary School is going to give good competition to mainly our two schools that are leading in this particular subject.
In discipline and career choice, guiding and counseling team has been instrumental in provision of basic needs that has reduced academic characters that may impact the students' performance negatively.
We bring on board various stakeholders, facilitators, to address various issues like reproductive health issues to deal with drug and abuse, so that they come to understand the implications whenever one may stray, and that has helped us curb or reduce cases that come with that. Being a day school is very challenging because we only have these students during the day. In the evening, we part ways. So when we are not very close to the students and when we not persistently bring in speakers to talk to them and motivate them, they may not go far. So we do that. We also have various career guidance. We involve various people who both within and outside the school to talk and motivate our learners as early as Form 1, not wait up to Form 4. So as they journey through their secondary education, they have a goal and they know what they are expected of to reach their particular professions. Now, we also enjoy support from various stakeholders. One very key stakeholder here is a sponsor. Our school is sponsored by Catholic Church, and we are very happy that our school is just a few meters away from the sponsor. The parish is just a few meters from the school. But therefore, our sponsor comes in handy in promoting the spiritual aspect.
Apart from academic awards, the school owns a number of trophies awarded from national music competitions, soccer girls, athletics, and drama.
Now, when you look at, in terms of participating in co-curricular activities, Bungoma Secondary School is actually a giant in its own. For example, last year, we had two of our teams, that is the scouting team, that competed up to the national levels. We had music that competed up to the national level. We had athletics that went up to the regions. So it is a regional, so we are a powerhouse in terms of co-curricular activities. And this year, I've been promised by those in charge of the activities that we're going to do even better. Lastly, when we come to the issue of, you look at the population versus the infrastructure. And initially I said we are a 7-stream school. But on the ground, because of one, space, and two, staffing, we have condensed these students from 7 streams to 6. So we are operating on the ground at 6, but we have actually overstaffed the what? Overstaffed the classes. A class that is supposed to have 50 students, you find it is having around 65, 69. That's because we cannot actually manage to the extent of having as many teachers as we wish to have. And again, the issue of space is a problem. On the ground, we have 22 physical classrooms when we're supposed to have 28.
For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Maisha Msimbi.
Well, moving on, let's now shift focus to our agricultural segment by Mary Magdalene Nekesa.
Guinea fowl, often referred to as guineas, are game birds that are increasingly popular among keepers of small and backyard flocks. Guineas are vigorous, hardy, and largely disease-free birds. They are guinea fowl. The birds sound an alarm whenever anything unusual occurs on the farm. While some people find this noise to be a nuisance, others find it to be an effective tool for protecting the farm and make guinea fowls the farmyard watchdogs. The loud noise of the guineas has also been shown to discourage rodents from invading the area. Keeping guinea fowl is also an effective means of pest control. Flocks of guineas kill and eat mice and small rats. In addition, guinea fowls can be used to control insects. Wild guineas eat mainly insects and domesticate a large amount of insect without affecting garden vegetables or flowers. Guineas have been used to control wood ticks and insects such as grasshoppers, fleas, and crickets. Guineas can reduce keepers' risk of Lyme disease by consuming deer ticks which carry the disease. Guinea fowls also eat slugs, and flocks have been known to attack snakes. Guinea fowls can also be raised for meat and egg production. The meat of young guinea is tender and tastes like that of a wild game. The meat is lean and rich in essential amino acid. Guinea eggs can be eaten just like chicken eggs. During the laying season, it is common for a guinea hen, an adult female at least 1 year old, to produce an egg a day. There are 3 main varieties of guinea fowls. We have pale, white, and lavender. The pale variety is the most popular and typically the one that people recognize most readily. Feathers from the pale variety are often used for ornamental purposes. Now let's look at the preparations before starting a flock. Before starting a poultry flock, you must check local zoning regulations to make sure that raising poultry is permitted. This is particularly important when raising guinea fowls because guineas will range and cross the boundaries of a small lot. Although guineas are typically quiet, they can be very noisy if disturbed. Guineas are more active than chicken and not as easily tamed. They seem to retain some of their wild behaviors. The housing of guinea fowls. Guinea fowls are often left to fend for themselves, but it is best to provide a shelter to protect them from high winds, rain, cold, sun, and predators. The shelter can be a purpose-built facility specifically for guineas or a room allocated in the barn. If you confide your guineas, it is important to provide the birds plenty of room. The more room the guinea have, the less likely they are to become stressed. The floor of the pen should be covered with an absorbent bending material such as wood shaving or chopped hay or straw. If you want to keep your guineas from wandering in a specific area, you must keep them in covered pens. Guineas are able to fly at a very early age and they become strong flyers, able to fly 400 to 500 feet at a time. Guineas are also very good runners and prefer to move on foot, including when escaping from predators. Under most conditions, you should not confine male guineas with chicken if they are roasted in the same flock. When male guineas are housed with roosters full time, the guineas will chase the roosters, keeping them from food and water. If your flock is allowed to range freely during the day and is locked up only at night, it is safe to keep guineas and roosters in the same barn. It is also safe to house them together in a short-term emergency such as blizzard or other bad weather. If you are keeping guineas for egg production, you should provide nest boxes. Nest boxes designed for chicken are usually acceptable. To reduce the likelihood of hens laying eggs in hidden nests outside, keep guinea hens confined to a hen house until noon each day so that they will lay eggs inside. If you are raising guinea fowls to control ticks and insects, you are better off purchasing adult guineas because they are easier to care for than young guineas and do well on their own. The guineas should be confined in a pen where they can see the area where they will be living. After an initial couple of weeks, let out guineas out. After an initial couple of weeks, let one guinea out. Guineas hate to be alone. So the single guinea will not go far and will learn its way around the area. After a few days, let a second guinea out to run with the first. If they stay near the pen, it is usually safe to let the rest out. Kids are guinea fowl offsprings that are younger than 12 weeks old. Guinea fowls are native to Africa, and as such, they are very susceptible to dampness during the first 2 weeks after hatching. After those initial 2 weeks, guineas are widely considered the hardiest of all domestic fowls. Kids can be raised in the same type of brooder houses and brooders as chicken or poults. One of the most frequent questions about poultry of any species is how to tell male from female. It is very difficult to sex young guineas because pullets and cockerels look exactly the same. When the guineas are older, there are 2 ways to tell them apart. Listen to the sound they make. Guinea fowls are naturally wild animals, and as such, they are not exactly cut out from being friendly towards humans. If they perceive you as a threat, they wouldn't hesitate to run away from you, and guinea fowls can be pretty fast. You can train guinea fowls to at least be a bit friendly and not run from humans, and the first step to achieving this is by raising from kids to adulthood. Raising guinea fowls from childhood can help them become acclimatized to you and will reduce their chances of running away from your home. The disadvantages of raising guinea fowls. Guinea fowls are loud, they are bullies, and they love to roam. For Kilimo Chapa, Maisha Television, my name is Mary Magdalene Nekesa.
Still on feature mode, let's shift gears to our business segment, My Hustle, My Life, My Story.
Politics is just a prohibition that denies youths independent lives. During this time, young men and women are traditionally active politically due to idealism and unemployment, but very often disillusioned by turns their lives are taking. More and more youths are inventing ways of making money. The goal is to get off rallies, benefits and back to hustles. Unemployment has driven Desley the idea to start a business that seems counter-interactive. He says clusters of kinyozi in the country has been due to ease of starting and operating it.
Naitwa Desley. Mimi mwana kinyozi tu kunyoa. Mimi si mgeni hapa. Kinyozi nimefanya karibu 1 year and a half. Na nimepata kitu. Niliona mambo ya employ, watu wamekuwa wengi. Na ukingoja kuemploy kwa kazi nyingine utakuwa waste. Utakuwa na kuchanganya akili juu watu wamefeel hizo maneno. kabisa kinyozi. Sasa imebidi tu mimi nianzishe tu kinyozi. Ni kweli nichukua tu kidogo tu bora nitumie.
Let's face it, business is tough. Starting a business hurts. It requires hard work. Everyone has skills and abilities, but not everyone invests those skills and abilities in their hustles.
Mimi ukiona kinyozi siki kuna struggle, siki kuna choka. Sasa nakaa tu. Nisha watu wanakuja tu tena alipo tena. Changamoto ya kinyozi kitu moja. Mimi watu customers wa kweli chache, kesho yake wakuwa wengi. Sasa unajua tena huwezi songesha hiyo bei, ni ile tu. Alafu sasa kitu kama municipality tena zinakuchanganya tu, mara huko wanapandisha license.
Desley admits to being victimized by the fear to make difficult decisions to get him on track. That means cutting costly projects and eliminating expenses by choosing appropriate location and owning appropriate equipment.
Ni kujikaza tu. Kwa kujikaza tu. Bora tu kazi, especially kinyozi. Kazi nyingine huwezi struggle. Ile tu unajua kianza kama hata umefunza mahali. Unaona unaanza na kitu kama uoga, unaanza kunyoa ukitemeka hivi. Sasa inabidi tu customer maybe anataka anyolewe yani vizuri, ndio na haribu. Kama uko reserve si expert, lakini kama uko dao bado hapo ni expert. Kama uko reserve unaweza chukua tu, kama ni kitu unaweza chukua tu yote. Lakini unajua hapa hivi mtu anataka kunyoa juu kwa expert hapo hivi, maybe anatoka mahali inafaa aoshwe, haiwezi enda na hiyo nini uchafu nyingi kimwekea.
Na pia nimerealize kinyozi nyingi hapa town hu charge differently. For instance, utaenda mwingine na charge 200, mwingine na charge 100, mwingine na charge 70. So nini na influence hizi price range?
Hapo sasa inalingana na venye mahali umefungua, especially kitu kama rentals na tumeweka ndani kama ziki-expert cheap hivyo tu. Sasa huwezi nyolea mtu kama hapa hivi, tuseme tu hapa nje kwa kioski mlipisha 100. Sababu ndio wote mnajua kunyoa, hata kwanza wewe ndio unamshinda wewe jamaa analipisha mingi. Lakini sababu tu ni wewe maybe hauna vitu zote kama yeye mwenyewe, kama ule kulipisha 100.
For the business as a whole, connections are a sign that the business is strong and able to withstand sudden changes. Desley has taken customer needs seriously to drive the success of his business.
Huwezi kaa tu na customer kwa maybe hata anakuja kunishughulikia, huwezi muongelesha. Unaona sasa ukitaka kinyozi kama biashara yako yote, hata kasi kinyozi itakayoendelee ni kitu tu moja, ni ile tu uko social na watu, yana haijalishi ulifanya kupita, tuseme uliachia kwa primary, high school, yote kwa sawa, bora tu kazi tu. Kazi ni kazi tu. Unaweza anza tu polepole, unanuka wewe pia unaanza kuemploy watu wa degree.
For Maisha Television, my hustle, my story, Brian Gad.
Right, we've come to the end of Maisha Prime News, the bold, authoritative and incisive bulletin. It comes to every Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m. and 9 a.m. My name is Kering Chebet. Enjoy the rest of your evening.